Stampers and Crafters. This is Kevon from ktstamps.com, creating cards for you. This is Hump Day Sketches, and it's also Wednesday, so I'm hoping that you have a great Hump Day. Well, today's sketch is brought to you by Freshly Made Sketches. And this is kind of like a sketch on a little bit of an angle. So this is kind of like, I just call it a little bit of putting three pieces together in harmony. But anyway, this was really a fun sketch for me to learn. It's one that I think I would do again. I did it a little bit different. I did a really easy basic card, and then I did one where I ended up cutting. So this is what my card looks like, my little easy card. And it is done by Hello Irresistible DSP. It's also lots of stuff. I used the Tailor tags. And the Tailor tags I used were right here. And so they are the smallest one. And I decided, I've had a lot of deaths right now in my friend group. So I am making sure that I have a few more sympathy cards. So then the other sympathy the sympathy saying that fit on that is with deepest sympathy. I used the Irresistible blooms, and what I did was I found, I love this paper. I love this paper. I love this stamp set. So I found a sheet of their 6x6, and all I did was got out my dies, placed them on my, my big boss, and cut it out. Now, as you can see, I have this little black dot up here. That always tells me what the top is. So I always know where the top of something is. And I do that with two-step stamps. I do not know if I put, most of the time, nope, I haven't. I usually put a dot at the top of these so I can match them up at the same time. So that's what I did, is that I just went through and die cut out all the flowers and then put them on the side. I did the same, as you can see, with all the leaves. I added them, and then I just took a piece of DSP and I cut it out to make this spot in the middle. What else? On the inside, I did use the two-tone Flora, and I don't know whether I'll use that again or whether I will just go ahead and just use the Irresistible blooms. And I also used on the inside, just thinking of you with all of my heart, because that's the way that I'm feeling. As you know, all the dimensions are in the side area, so you know exactly what you are going to get and have to cut. This is a embossing folder called the Cane Weave, and I just did that right at the very beginning. It just gave it a little bit of dimension when I gave it. This piece, I don't remember, I think it's 3x4, and it is going to, I'm going to show you how just to cut out the middle part. All right, so we're going to get started and fold our cardstock. Get that out of the way so there isn't much of a shadow. And all I'm going to do is just give it a nice crease. I am then going to look to see which side I like, and I always like the embossed part. And just getting out my glue And again, we are just doing little amounts of glue. Put it down on top. And this is a normal 5.5. Okay, this is the 5.5 by 8.5 scored at 4 1/4. And then on the outside is 4 by 5 1/4. All right, so here we go. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to get out my ink, and I am just going to use one of the Irresistible blooms. I do not know how much longer they will be around. They're on our online exclusive, and I know that we have new exclusives coming tomorrow. Sorry, I forgot my lock. So this would be a good time to get the paper and the stamp set. It's well worth it. I love, it's a beautiful stamp set. You know, there are some stamp sets that you just don't want to have go away as far as retirement goes from Stampin' Up, and this is one of them. I really loved how beautiful this stamp set was. So this is Daffodil Delight. So all I'm doing is just putting a little flower there, and then I am taking my pretty Peacock, and I'm just going to bring out my peaceful moments and thinking of you. Thinking. I should have had this organized a little bit better by the time I brought it into play. There we go. So there's the inside of our card ready. And then, as you can see, I do such a good job with these colors. Sorry, have to bring in my chamois, wipe off my fingers. While I'm here, I'm just going to go ahead and clean off my stamp sets. And you guys, these chamois are fabulous. I really enjoy this chamois. All you have to do is get it wet. I keep it in a stamp box, this little stamp plastic container. Close it. It lasts for about a week or so before I have to get it wet again. So now we are going to take, this is our paper trimmer, and with this, all I'm going to do is kind of eyeball about an inch over here on this side. So all I'm doing is setting it up so the corner comes down to, I don't know how long, it's just an eyeball. And it doesn't even have to be in the corner. I'm just giving it a nice little V for this shape. So that's all I'm going to do. And I'm going to just, as you guys can see, every time it turns out a little bit different. Okay. So I just have my pieces of scrap paper. I can save it for another project if I want. Otherwise, they're available. You know, us crafters, we can't ever let any of those go to waste. You can choose from either side to do your stamping on. And all I'm going to do is just lay this across. That's it. Bring out my silicone pad so I can get a little glue on here. I do not know where anything else is. I just now found them. All right, so that is already giving us 3 parts, and it looks beautiful. It looks like we really did a great job in cutting this. All right, then all I did was use my foam adhesive sheets. Just wanted big ones on here. And then I put this one just down at the bottom, this one up towards the top, give it a nice little pop to it. I'm just going to glue the saying, and again the saying was done by the Tailor made dies. You can use any die you want. You don't even have to use a die. You could just use a piece of paper. I wanted something that was just going to, you know, add a little contrast to what's going on. I then brought in my, this is a Lost Lagoon, and it is bordered ribbon. And I just brought it in, made a little bit of a, or made a bow, and then I just tied it at the end and just tied it up, and I'm just going to put it right at the end with a glue dot. And that's just, you know, again, depth. That's all I'm looking for, is how do I make things pop. Then I have a couple of leaves that I am just going to attach, and I'm going to attach them with a glue dot. And they're going to look like they're floating just a little bit. I'm going to put it on the front, and all I'm doing is grabbing the front of the leaf, and I'm just going to bring it in here. And so this kind of floats. I like that look, and I love the different colors that show up to play. All right, let me make sure that this is, there we go, there's the float. All right, and then to finish this one off, I have these absolutely beautiful iridescent rhinestone basic jewels. Love these. Bringing out take my pick tool, and I am just going to take out two big ones, and I'm just putting those right in the middle of my flower. And then I'm just taking a little one because I want to emphasize the sentiment. So that is our first card. The only thing we need to do that I have not done on either card is just to bring back in my Daffodil Delight, bring back in my big old flower stamp from Irresistible Bloom, and all I'm going to do is stamp the envelope. So now you don't have any naked envelopes when you are stamping. So that's our first card. We're down. We're ready to go now with the second card. Second card, oh my God, you guys. I just got a little bit wild. And I hope that you just stay with me on this second card that I made. So it's a little bit zany because I did it with the Zany Zoo. Did wild colors. So this is what my second card looks like. And I did it a little bit different than the other card, so I'm going to do it so the side, so we angle up, and I'm going to show you how to do that. I have, this is from the Zoo, crew, and these are just so beautiful. They're all the little animals with black and white on the back. Now each one of these has something that you can cut out with dies. So I think in this one we have the, I think it's the lion, and I think that's, here we go. That's what this one looks like. So on one of the DSPs, it has something you can cut out. So otherwise, you just have to hand cut everything. This is just so sweet. I think on this one, they may have the, they have the little turtle, and that's what I used. It's just so sweet. I love this paper. It's just one of those fun little things. And then I also used the Bright and Beautiful 6x6. Lots of great colors in here. Okay, again, two-sided. Absolutely beautiful. So we are going to take our lemon lime twist, and that's going to be the base. And I know that's just like a color I don't always use, but it's a color that a lot of people really, really like. And then I embossed my fresh Freesia, and I embossed it with the Merry Melody. Now, one thing about this Merry Melody you have to understand is it really is upside down, because you have the, I can't remember what these are, the bass sign or the something that starts out all your music on the side, and the music runs this way. When Stampin' Up made it, I think they just did a little oops. So when you put this through, please make sure that all the bass clef and treble clef, something like that, are on the side, so you can see that and the music is playing correctly on the right side. All right. I also use, this is a retired stitched shapes framelits. I love the little ovals, so I wanted to make sure that I used a little oval, and I have not received my package yet from Stampin' Up that has a couple of ovals in it. All right, this just goes in the middle. These are all what are they, 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, so we're going to get ourselves started. We're going to bring in our paper trimmer. All I'm going to do is create some spaces. I'm just, again, I'm cutting all 3 at the same time. I know Stampin' Up says don't do that. I just had to. So I like being able to give them shape, and then what will happen is that you are going to be able to use these in 3 more cards. All right, so that's what I have. This is a little bit crooked, just the way it goes. Then I am going to use this at the top. Let's try this at the top. And then this at the bottom. So that's how I'm just going to create my shape. And then I have more of these cuts that I can use for 2 more cards. So it's really nice that we're able to have all these. And it's nice when you can make more than 1 card. All right, so from here, we are just going to kind of throw them all together, see how they fit. And all I'm doing is laying it out. So I'm giving some space in between the 2, and if I need to create more space down below, which I'm going to need to do. There we go. So my first one that I'm going to put together will be my top piece. And I did find my Stampin' seal. So all I'm going to do off camera, I think, is put this down. So it's going to be my piece I'm going to start with. And I'll line everything else up according to it. With this, I'm just going to add some glue. I don't want to press down on the embossing part. There we go. It gives me a chance just to have a little wiggle room. And then we have this at the bottom. There we go. And that just makes it all. And then my die cut and my beautiful little turtle who is singing their life away. Yes, I love this. I'm going to save that for a minute as I bring in all of my little words. I love this. Something great to celebrate you. I love that. I just think that is so sweet. All right, I'm using Memento ink to stamp. And then I'm going to put on my little baby. Give him a microphone. Just let him sing away. Love that. And then I am going to bring out all of my little musical notes. So we can have him singing away. There we go. Isn't that sweet? I just love that. Then we have our inside piece. And all we are going to do is, I had a whole bunch of bears that are peeking out the corner. So I wanted to just have a bear that was peeking out the corner. And these are some of the things that are, you can see them on the sides. Like you can see this goat over here. So all I did was cut out the side. So I'm using everything on the DSP. I also die cut some of the balloons. And this again is another, is kind of in the corner. I have my little beautiful notes. I'm going to clean them really quickly so I can add them again on the side. I'm going to bring in my happy birthday to you. You can't have enough of the birthday cards. Seems like everybody has birthdays coming up pretty soon. And this is a happy birthday to you. And then I just did some die cuts of some balloons. This small little balloon. It's so precious. Oh, I love stuff like this. They are just my favorite. And I love being able to decorate the inside of the cards. So much fun. And getting this out of the way, getting this out of the way. And now all I'm going to do is bring back in my balloons and get some glue dots. And just having the balloons around celebrating the birthday. And I did the balloons out of the Bright and Beautiful DSP 6x6. Yeah, just wanted something. I love this. I love this. And this goes on the inside of my card. And there we go. That is our card put together. It looks so cute. But again, can't have any naked envelopes. So I'm just going to bring out the little turtle and just have it ready to sing away on the outside. I have not put any of the backing on it. I just have this because most people who steal mail, I'm sorry to have to tell you this, anytime there's a happy birthday on it, it'll go right away because most people know that there are gift cards or money in birthday cards. So whenever you are sending cards, don't write happy birthday on the front. Just do like a little turtle singing, and then nobody will ever know, even if you send a gift card. So I love that. So these are my cards for today. I am very grateful to share these cards with you. Hello, Seema. Oh, my volume is low. I wish I would have noticed that earlier. So I'll talk a little bit louder. So thank you, Seema. I love you. It's good to hear from you. So sweet. So anyway, that's what I have today. Hopefully my volume gets higher. If you need to, please turn up the volume. I can't believe I just said that. But anyway, take care, you guys. Thank you so much for stamping with me. I really appreciate your friendship. I appreciate your time. Seema, thank you for being there every stinking time I do one of these videos. I really appreciate you. So you guys take care. Again, my name is Kevon, and my website is ktstamps.com. My goal in life is creating cards for you. So take care. Bye, guys. See you next week.